The Roman kingdom, also known as the Roman monarchy, marks the earliest phase of Roman history, traditionally dated from 753 to 509 BCE. This period precedes the Roman Republic and the Roman Empire, laying the foundational social, political, and cultural frameworks of what would become one of the most influential civilizations in world history. Though much of the period is steeped in myth and legend, archaeological and historical evidence provide insight into this formative era. The traditional founding date of Rome is 753 BCE, ascribed to the mythological story of Romulus and Remus. According to legend, these twin brothers, abandoned as infants and raised by a she-wolf, established the city. A conflict arose between the brothers over the location and leadership of the settlement, resulting in Romulus killing Remus and becoming Rome's first king. While largely mythical, this story encapsulates themes of struggle, survival, and leadership that characterized early Rome. Archaeological evidence indicates that the area of Rome, particularly the Palatine Hill, was settled by the 10th century BCE. These early inhabitants were part of the Latin tribe who lived in simple villages. Rome's strategic location on the Tiber River and its proximity to trade routes likely contributed to its growth into a significant urban center. The Roman kingdom was traditionally ruled by 7 kings, each credited with various achievements that shaped Rome's early development. Romulus is credited with founding Rome after killing his brother Remus in a dispute over the city's location and leadership. He named the city after himself. Romulus created the Senate, known as the Council of Elders, which served as an advisory body composed of 100 noblemen, later expanded to 300. He established the Roman legions and structured the military system, focusing on discipline and unity. Romulus devised the controversial rape of the Sabine women strategy, where Roman men abducted women from neighboring tribes to secure wives and strengthen the population. Romulus mysteriously disappeared during a storm and was later deified as Quirinus, a god of Rome. His reign symbolizes Rome's origin and survival ethos. Numa, a Sabine by birth, succeeded Romulus and is remembered for promoting peace and religion. His reign was marked by spiritual and cultural consolidation. Numa established the Vestal Virgins, priestesses dedicated to the goddess Vesta, to safeguard the sacred fire of Rome. He created the position of Pontifex Maximus, the chief priest. He introduced cults of Jupiter, Mars, and Quirinus to standardize Roman worship. Numa introduced laws based on fairness and reorganized the Roman calendar, adding January and February to the 10-month year. Known for diplomacy, he avoided military campaigns, focusing instead on the moral and religious development of Rome. Numa's reforms helped unify Rome through shared religious practices and set the precedent for combining governance with piety. Tullus Hostilius emphasized military expansion and was less interested in religious matters, contrasting with Numa's peaceful reign. He conquered Alba Longa, a nearby city considered Rome's predecessor. Tullus engaged in wars with neighboring tribes like the Sabines and Veii to expand Roman territory. He destroyed Alba Longa, but integrated its population into Rome, strengthening its manpower. He built Rome's first Senate house, the Curia Hostilia, to formalize governance. Tullus embodied Rome's militaristic ambition and its drive to dominate the region, laying the groundwork for future territorial expansion. Ancus Marcius, a grandson of Numa, is remembered for combining military strength with an emphasis on infrastructure and trade. He secured Rome's dominance by defeating the Latins and annexing their lands. Ancus built the Pons Sublicius, Rome's first wooden bridge across the Tiber River. He established Ostia, Rome's first seaport, boosting trade and commerce. Ancus constructed salt works near Ostia, providing an essential economic resource. He strengthened city walls and expanded the city to accommodate its growing population. Ancus is celebrated for balancing military conquest with urban planning, making Rome more self-sufficient and connected to regional trade networks. Tarquinius Priscus, the first Etruscan king of Rome, introduced advanced engineering and cultural practices from Etruscan civilization. He initiated the construction of the Cloaca Maxima, Rome's great sewer, to drain marshlands. He began developing the Roman Forum, which became the city's political and social hub. Tarquinius Priscus introduced Etruscan symbols of authority, such as the fasces. He waged wars against the Latins and Sabines, increasing Rome's wealth and territory. He imported Etruscan customs, which heavily influenced Roman religion, architecture, and governance. Tarquinius Priscus's reign marked a significant leap in Rome's urban sophistication, aligning the city with advanced Etruscan practices. Servius Tullius, of Etruscan heritage, is credited with major social and political reforms that laid the foundation for Rome's later class-based society. He conducted the first Roman census, categorizing citizens into classes based on wealth. This system determined military and voting responsibilities. Servius constructed the city's first defensive walls, known as the Servian Wall, to protect Rome. He built the temple on the Palatine Hill, fostering religious unity among Rome's allies. He promoted laws that benefited the lower classes, including land distribution to the poor. Servius is remembered as a just and forward-thinking king, whose reforms addressed social inequalities and fortified Rome's defenses. Tarquinius Superus, the last king of Rome, ruled with an autocratic style that alienated the population and led to the monarchy's downfall. He completed the Temple of Jupiter Optimus Maximus on the Palatine Hill, a symbol of Rome's growing power. He strengthened Rome's dominance over the Latin League and other neighbors. Tarquinius Superus governed without consulting the Senate and used fear to suppress dissent, eroding trust in the monarchy. His reign ended in 509 BCE following the infamous incident involving his son Sextus Tarquinius, who assaulted Lucretia, a noblewoman. The public outrage led to a revolt led by Lucius Junius Brutus, resulting in the monarchy's abolition and the establishment of the Roman Republic. Tarquinius Superus's tyranny underscored the dangers of unchecked power, influencing Rome's subsequent focus on shared governance and republican principles. Though it lasted only about 2.5 centuries, the Roman kingdom laid the foundation for Rome's later achievements. It established key institutions, traditions, and cultural practices that endured through the Republic and Empire. The monarchy's legacy can be seen in Rome's emphasis on governance, military organization, and urban development.